Welcome, everyone, to the National Genealogical Society. Welcome, everyone, to the National Genealogical Society 2021 Annual Meeting. I'm Catherine Doyle, President of NGS. We're delighted to have you join us. But before we dive into our agenda, I want to thank all of our NGS members for your continued support. As we continue to be affected by COVID-19, I hope you and your family have remained safe and well. Our hearts go out to those who have suffered loss of life, loved ones, or livelihood. As we begin our first annual meeting since the merger between FGS and NGS, I'm thrilled to share with you a renewed mission statement for the new NGS, adopted by our board of directors in January. The mission of the National Genealogical Society is to inspire, connect, and lead the family history community. We foster best practices in advocacy, education, preservation, and research. We enable people, cultures, and organizations to discover the past and create a lasting legacy for generations, past, present, future. Our goal for today's annual meeting is to share all the exciting ways that we are living out this new mission. This past year has certainly been a transformational one for NGS. With this new mission as our guiding star, we've expanded our conference programming to 5 days to include the exciting new formats you are enjoying this week, while also continuing to accommodate a worldwide pandemic by going virtual. Most importantly, we've come together as a broader and deeper family history community since the historic merger of the Federation of Genealogical Societies and the National Genealogical Society to create the new NGS. With this merger, the NGS staff has taken on a new slate of activities on top of their usual duties while working remotely. As president of the board, I've witnessed the daily efforts by the staff to keep the organization running seamlessly, and especially during these unusual times. Lockdown and changing protocols lead to adjustments, which have inevitably led to more changes and more adjustments. But always, our amazing staff keeps their head down and they keep on keeping on. So in celebration of their expertise, their energy and flexibility and positive attitude, I am thrilled to present this year's NGS Presidential Citation Award to our dedicated staff. The President's Citation recognizes and acknowledges particular dedicated efforts on behalf of the National Genealogical Society. So please join me in thanking and congratulating the NGS staff, Executive Director Matt Menashes, Accounting Manager Karen Sock, Conference Manager Aaron Shiflett, Member Services Manager Susan Yaki, and also to Courtney Holmes, our registrar for many years. Thank you, team, so much. Your skills, your commitment, and your resilience keep us going strong every day. We can't thank you enough. Each family history conference takes years of planning, from headquarters and locally, working with a local chairperson to lead the effort and a local host society to support NGS. This week, we had hoped to be celebrating a terrific conference in Richmond, Virginia. Teresa Kelly, our Richmond chair, had put her heart into planning every detail. The Virginia Genealogical Society was ready to welcome several thousands of us into their city and to make sure we had a great experience. But the pandemic continued, and once again, NGS made the difficult decision to convert the conference to an all-virtual event. Our NGS team gave so much to planning an in-person on-the-ground event, as did Teresa and the VGS, who worked so hard with the Richmond hotels and the conference center, the exhibitors, and of course, our wonderful sponsors, and even many of you who were planning a research trip to the rich resources available in Virginia. We hope to reschedule an in-person event in Virginia very soon. But in the meantime, here we are, basking in the success after 3 days of our virtual conference, a nonstop week of NGS programming. Feedback has been excellent. Some of you were representatives of your organization and attended the kickoff workshop of the NGS Delegate Council held on Monday. Last evening, I hope you enjoyed the first ever Slam Showcase event and are excited about the innovative work being done by our societies, libraries, archives, and museums. We finished half of our two-day live event, and on Friday, it will be a special time to shout out about the great things that are possible when the family history community puts a focus on societies. You'll hear more about the organizational focused events in just a minute. But let me go back to today and the fun we've had at NGS Live. Our success on this two-day event is due to many people I want to thank today. But I must begin with all of the conference speakers because without them, none of our plans would have been possible. Without the cooperation, caring, graciousness, and kindness of our vast program of speakers who produced high-quality virtual content, this exciting educational event would not be possible. This amazing two-day virtual conference was devised and implemented by an experienced conference team that NGS has come to rely on for always giving us their best efforts, and they have not had a moment's rest. Many thanks to Jan Alpert, Teresa Kelly, Matt Menashes, Aaron Shiflett, and Terry Koshbostic. We appreciate your heavy lifting. Certainly, we want to acknowledge and thank the continued efforts of our stellar NGS Conference Committee members, the copy editors, our designer, graphic artist, social media expert, and staff. And thank you to Teresa Kelly, Conference Chair, and the Richmond Conference teams for designing the program, adapting to a virtual format, and writing the conference blog. And to Mary O'Brien Vidlek, Host Committee Chair and President of the Virginia Genealogical Society, who are sponsoring the Lafayette presentation, providing Q&A facilitators, and planning a number of local events, which unfortunately had to be tabled. Thank you all. You can't hold a conference without the help of sponsors and exhibitors, and we are grateful to our platinum sponsors, Ancestry, Family Search, and Family Tree DNA. Thank you to our diamond sponsors, MyHeritage and the Family History Guide Association, and our silver sponsors, American Ancestors, Collectionaire, Genealogical.com, ProQuest, and VividPix. And to each and every exhibitor, thank you for standing by us. Certainly the highlight of this past year was the merger of the Federation of Genealogical Societies and the National Genealogical Society, which was formalized on October 1st, 2020, to create the new NGS. As our mission states, the new NGS is committed to connecting all aspects of the family history community, whether you are a budding historian or a professional researcher, a society leader, or an information provider. I'm going to ask three members of the NGS board who are central to a lot of this work to share what they have been up to and what that means for all of us at NGS. You'll hear first from Bernice Bennett, Chair of the NGS Membership Committee. Then Sherry Passy, our Vice President for Society and Organization Management. And then Andre Kearns, who has organized and chaired our new Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee this year. They will be followed by our Executive Director, Matt Menashes, who will walk you through new highlights on the NGS website so you won't miss any new resources or activities. But now, Bernice, please take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bernice Alexander Bennett, and I serve as the chair of the NGS Membership Committee, as well as a member of the Membership Transition Team that integrated the FGS and NGS membership structures. NGS is committed to creating the best experiences for our members, whether they are individual genealogists or genealogical organizations. We provide quality educational programs, publications, and conferences. In addition, we are excited to create opportunities for our members to work together and collaborate where it matters to you and for you. Our goal is to bring you together in ways that will benefit you and are consistent with our mission to inspire, connect, and lead the family history community. Hence, Our membership priorities focus on improving our programs and services for you, learning more about your needs through surveys, exploring ways to make it easier for you to renew your membership, and creating ways for you to engage with other individuals and member organizations. Now, we frequently talk about engagement in NGS, but what does that mean? Engagement is about value, the value members receive from being involved in NGS, learning with NGS, and communicating with their fellow members. It's also about the value we place on your relationship with NGS. We want to create engagement opportunities that matter to you. Successful member engagement brings us together in ways that help NGS meet our mission and help the genealogy community grow and thrive. We will implement 2 engagement strategies in the coming months. The first, Your Voice Matters. Over the summer, we will launch NGS virtual member gatherings. These will provide you with an opportunity to stay informed about what's going on in the genealogical community and provide NGS with a way to listen to your needs and ideas. These virtual gatherings will occur on a quarterly basis. The second, a place to gather. We will also enhance our member engagement by launching new online member communities based around genealogy topics, member interest groups, and support for member organizations. These communities will build relationships, facilitate conversations, and enable our members to share and learn. We look forward to seeing these NGS communities develop and connect with each of you around the country. I mentioned being on the membership transition team. This team was responsible for restructuring and streamlining membership categories and benefits as we planned for and executed the merger between FGS and NGS. The big news coming out of this work was the addition of a youth, young adult membership category for people between the ages of 14 and 24 for only $25. Think of how you can promote this very affordable membership to encourage young people you know to lean into their search for their family stories. The even bigger news post-merger was the welcoming of all types of family history organizations into full NGS membership. This includes our wonderful societies and family associations, but also libraries, archives, museums, educational institutions, and others. In fact, there has been so much done this past year with and for our NGS member organizations that we added a new officer position, Vice President of Society and Organization Management, to the NGS board. I'd like to invite the first person to fill that executive position, Sherry Hudson Passy, to share with you exciting work being done on the organization side of the house.
Thank you, Bernice. Hi, I'm Sherry Hudson Passy. When NGS and the Federation of Genealogical Societies announced their merger in 2019, we promised that we would build a new NGS that carried on the best of both NGS and FGS. The people from these 2 wonderful organizations have come together, are carrying on much of the great work of FGS, and are providing new opportunities for genealogy organizations to grow and thrive. Together, we are building the new NGS. On day 1, October 1st, 2020, my position, the Vice President of Society and Organization Management, became effective. It is my job to make sure organizations and societies have a voice within the NGS board, and I serve as the principal officer of NGS Responsibilities for Member Organizations. That said, all of our officers and directors are here to serve the over 600 genealogy organization members, as well as the more than 10,000 individual members. Now, like any new venture, creating support and services takes time, but building services for organizations has been a top priority since the merger. Many of the services from FGS have continued. Some are being updated, and others will be brand new. In a few minutes, Matt Menashes will share some of what's available, including how to find these resources on our website. In our ongoing conversations, the new NGS will continue to listen to the community's needs and provide quality services. One of the most important aspects of the merger was to create a place where genealogy organizations would have the opportunity to influence the genealogy community. In other words, a place for their voices to be heard. In the Federation, each member organization had a delegate. We took that concept and set a goal to expand it and create a space where delegates not only represented their organizations, but also had ways to work together and learn from each other. The NGS Delegate Council was born out of these discussions. To get the Delegate Council up and running this first year, a steering committee was formed last fall. Now, the committee has been meeting to establish the basic outline of how the Delegate Council will operate over time, and to produce the day-long kickoff workshop held last Monday. The day began with welcoming delegates and continued with workshops on their responsibilities, the power of working together, engaging in conversation, and supporting each other. The Delegate Council will meet quarterly. These meetings will help empower organizations and societies as they decide how they want to be organized, who they want to head up the Delegate Council, and what should be on the Council's agenda. I'd like to personally thank the Delegate Council Steering Committee, pictured on the slide, for their hard work and dedication in putting the workshop together and providing a jumping off point for its continuation. It's been an honor to attend their meetings and watch as they envisioned the Delegate Council and put together the workshop in a short amount of time. Special thanks to Don Carey Henry of Michigan and W. Samuel Williams of Virginia for their terrific leadership. We are also grateful to Family Tree DNA for sponsoring this inaugural meeting of the NGS Delegate Council. Well, that was Monday. Yesterday, Tuesday, brought the first ever SLAM showcase, another way the new NGS is fulfilling its promise. The showcase highlighted creative and innovative projects implemented by societies, libraries, archives, and museums. SLAM. The event featured video posters from genealogy information providers explaining ways they serve patrons seeking genealogical assistance. The competition for prizes added to the excitement, and collaboration during the event helped to share ideas and build a community of support for genealogy information providers. Now, every new idea needs a great sponsor, and we are grateful to Ancestry, Collectionaire, and Vivid Pics for their support of the first ever SLAM showcase. This exciting event would not have happened without vision and leadership from a terrific team of highly qualified volunteers. Many, many thanks to the SLAM committee led by Scott Hall. Over the years, when it was a separate organization, FGS offered a day or a track within its annual conference that was especially for societies. The purpose of this event was to help societies strengthen and grow. Continuing in this tradition, this exciting conference week will conclude with a full day Focus on Societies event on Friday. The presentations at Focus will cover sharing best practices, building leadership, attracting new members, planning online meetings and events, developing newsletters, digital marketing, and so much more. A virtual luncheon on Friday will include the ever popular Society Shoutout celebration. These presentations will be available on demand after the conference, and that's just one more way to promote our desire to help member societies and organizations thrive. We sincerely thank our breakout speakers and all those who have worked to put this program together. We couldn't do it without your expertise and enthusiasm. Nor could we prepare this great program without our sponsors, Ancestry, Family Tree Maker, and Vivid Pics. The inaugural Delegate Council Workshop, the first ever SLAM Showcase, and an informative focus on societies in addition to a world-class virtual conference. What an exciting week this is for the new NGS. Help us continue to build the new NGS by helping you create and maintain vibrant groups wherever you may be serving. Now, speaking of new, I'd like to call on my fellow board member, Andre Kearns, to share a very exciting new initiative for NGS. Andre?
Hi, my name's Andre Kearns. I joined the board of the National Genealogical Society as a director at large in 2020. I'm an avid genealogist and have extensively researched my family tree, tracing back to 1619 and the first Africans to arrive in Virginia. As an African American, I am motivated to research my family history to uncover powerful ancestral stories of Black resilience, triumph, and agency over slavery and discrimination, and to share those stories of my ancestors who helped to build this country. At NGS, we aspire to be a society open to all people to discover their own inspirational family stories and share them forward. The killing of George Floyd on May 25th, 2020, sparked a national conversation about how to deal with the pandemic of racism in America. It also sparked a conversation across NGS about how we come to terms with our own history of racism and address current perceptions of NGS as not fully inclusive. Here's what we took away from that conversation. Number one, at NGS, we're not where we want to be with respect to diversity, equity, and inclusion, known as DEI for short. And then number two, we are committed to changing this. Here's how. In December 2020, we established a DEI working group made up of the following people who brought a very rich DEI expertise and a set of fresh perspectives to the table. Janet Bailey, Bernice Bennett, Ken Bravo, Melvin Collier, Lisa Fanning, Ellen Fernandez-Sacco, and David Morrow. I was honored to serve as chair for this talented working group. The board asked our working group to consider and recommend DEI actions NGS should take across the following initiative areas. Number one, understand and communicate NGS's history of eugenics and racism. Number two, gather data to assess diversity across the society and set future goals. Number three, address the inclusion challenges of the society by creating an inclusionary policy. And four, define a framework for driving partnerships, outreach, and education and engagement with respect to DEI. Now, we've made a set of initial recommendations to the board, and based on these recommendations, here are examples of what you can expect from us over the next year. We have established a formal DEI committee from members of our working group to implement board-approved recommendations. We will regularly communicate our recommendations and progress towards achieving a more diverse and inclusive organization. We will implement a comprehensive plan to measure diversity across the society and set goals for increasing diversity within our leadership positions. We will set diversity and inclusion goals across our conference, publications, and marketing communications. And then we will cultivate partnerships with a diverse set of societies, libraries, archives, and museums to drive diverse and inclusive outreach. Expanding NGS to a broader, more diverse member base will benefit our organization and empower large sections of our society to discover their family stories, be inspired by them, and give voice to their ancestors. We've got lots of work to do, so stay tuned. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matt Menashes, NGS Executive Director. I've been asked to share a little with you today about how NGS provides most of its benefits, programs, and services to you, the NGS member. So we're going to take a quick tour through the NGS website. And again, thank you for being here for our annual meeting. As many of you have seen on the NGS website, we've made some changes since last year due to the merger with the Federation of Genealogical Societies. We've added an entirely new section for our society and organization members. Let me start first with just sharing the basic navigation of our website. As you know, we have built our website around 4 key steps in your journey as a genealogist, from getting started, to going to the next level, to building advanced skills, and joining the genealogical community. Click on any of those 4 to find resources that are valuable to you no matter where you are on your journey through genealogy. To join NGS, click in this section if you're not already a member. To find resources for society and organization leaders, click in this section. Some of our key benefits are available to you once you've logged in. As you can see, I'm logged in today as Aaron Shiflett. As a member of the organization, I can go into the Learning Center and get access to most of our resources. First thing I wanted to point out is a couple of new genealogy courses. As you know, we have 3 sets of courses: our American Genealogical Studies, our Continuing Genealogical Studies courses, and our free Family History Skills course. Our new Continuing Genealogical Studies courses are understanding and using DNA test results, transcribing, extracting, and abstracting genealogical documents, and reading old handwriting. All of those are new resources since the last time we've met. In addition, we have made changes to the accessibility of the Family History Skills course. Members can just click through from the Family History Skills course title, and you can begin the course immediately by clicking on Lesson 1. As you begin your course, you'll be able to move through step by step by step until you're completed. Access to the Family History Skills course, again, is available by clicking on the title on the Genealogy Courses page. I also want to show you where to access our member directory for member organizations. If you go to Societies and Organizations and click on Find a Society, Library, Museum, Archive, or College Program, you bring up our new directory. To find an organization, type its name and click Search. And you'll get results. To do a new search, click back to search. You can just choose to search by organization type, in this case, all societies, and you can see 335 member organizations come up when we do that search. You can search by all of our library members, 46, or archives, museums, or college or university departments and degree programs. In addition to our directory of genealogy societies and organizations, we also have the genealogy events calendar. Our genealogy member organizations submit events to the calendar for posting. As you can see here, everything is in reverse date order by what has been submitted. You can click Read More to see more details about the event. If you click on the title of the event, you'll go to that event's website. One additional feature we'd like to show you is the NGS Family Papers collection. From the Learning Center, click on the NGS Family Papers collection, to find access to Bible records and member ancestor charts submitted by NGS members, and to the National Intelligencer, a newspaper published in Washington, D.C. from 1800 to 1850. All of those are viewable by PDF. Just enter the names you're looking for and the database to search in order to get the records. If you're not aware, you can also check out NGS's blog, Upfront with NGS, from the Learning tab. Finally, we wanted to make sure that you knew about where to find your digital copies of NGS Magazine and the NGS Q. If you click here, you'll be given access to both the archives or to read the current issue. For our societies and organization members, there are a number of new resources that we've added to our website. Everything from information about the Preserve the Pensions program, access for genealogy organizations to list their events that I mentioned earlier, links to 2 society management books, information from NGS partner Board Source, including a handful of 101 style PDF documents that will help your board do a better job in managing your not-for-profit organization. We also include our Information and Answer series, which is being updated from the old FGS Society Strategy series. We've currently published 4 of those documents, and you can download them now. Again, these resources are for our society and organization members and are not available to our individual members. Finally, we've made links to the Focus on Societies event and the SLAM Idea Showcase, part of our virtual Family History Conference. There are also links to information about what delegates and administrators are in the NGS membership, information about our Delegate Council Steering Committee, and the workshop that was held this past Monday. Finally, we've got information about the Records Preservation and Access Coalition available as well, including a list of all the state liaisons and a blog for RPAC. Finally, I thought I'd share with you just a couple of additional pieces. As an individual member, when you click on Join or Renew Your Membership, you'll find a link to download 5 things to do today. When you open up the download, this wonderful infographic provides information on 5 things that you can do to get the most out of your NGS membership. And I wouldn't be a good executive director if I didn't also share how to change your member profile. If you're on the regular website, click on your name where it says welcome, and you'll be brought to your account profile. Click on account, click on personal information, and make the changes you need to make, including your contact info, your email address, your phone number, your address can all be edited right from here. In addition, I wanted to point out that you can access a page to donate to NGS or to the Stern Nara Gift Fund. Stern Nara Gift Fund came over from the Federation of Genealogical Societies after the merger in October. To make a donation to the Stern Nara Gift Fund, click on Yes, I would like to donate to this cause, choose your amount or enter a custom amount, and fill in the rest of the information. You can submit your donation via credit card right online. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that tour of the website. We hope you will explore and have fun with these new resources and join in our new virtual engagement activities as they come online later this year. In a few minutes, Catherine Doyle and I will be available to answer your questions about the new NGS. Please type your questions in the space on the right side of your screen. Joining us for the Q&A will be NGS Treasurer, Deborah Hoskins. And at this point, I'd like to call on Deb to give us an update on NGS finances. Deb?
Thank you, Matt. Hi, I'm Deborah Hoskins, Treasurer of the National Genealogical Society. I have served in this role since October 2018. Prior to becoming the NGS treasurer, I spent 32 years as a senior healthcare finance professional in several for-profit and nonprofit hospitals in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and New Jersey before retiring in July 2018. I'm here this evening to present to you the results of the 2020 annual audit of NGS's fiscal year from October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020. Note that these audited results reflect the financial position of the old NGS organization prior to the point of merger. The audited financial statements include the statement of financial position and the related statements of activities, changes in net assets, functional expenses, and cash flow. We are again proud to announce that NGS received an unqualified opinion. An unqualified opinion is an independent auditor's judgment that a company's financial statements are fairly and appropriately presented without any identified exceptions and in compliance with generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP. Congratulations to our staff, particularly our accounting manager, Karen Soch, for a job well done. The statement of financial position, commonly referred to as the balance sheet, includes total assets as of September 30th, 2020 of $1,764,000, shown approximately halfway down the slide. Those total assets are comprised primarily of cash and marketable securities of $1.6 million. NGS applied for and received a Paycheck Protection Program loan in the amount of $51,600, expected to be forgiven in 2021. Net assets as of September 30th, 2020, shown at the bottom of the slide, decreased by $125,000 from September 30th, 2019 to $984,000. This decline was the result of decreased revenues attributed to the pandemic, necessitating a conversion to a virtual conference in May 2020 and cancellation of all in-person research trips. On the statement of activities, commonly referred to as the income statement, NGS saw growth in membership and educational service revenues shown on the top half of the slide. Educational revenues grew during 2020 by close to 100%, with the bulk of the increase coming from sales of the American Genealogical Studies 4-course series and new continuing educational courses, including understanding and using DNA test results, transcribing, extracting, and abstracting genealogical documents, and reading old handwriting. Membership saw an 8% growth during the year, climbing to 9,800 members by the end of the fiscal year. We recognized that members needed more reminders to renew and improve the process. Both individual and society membership growth continues in 2021 and currently stands at 10,740. While revenues from the virtual conference were less than the typical in-person conference, the net profit of the virtual conference was nearly identical to the in-person conferences of the past. Slightly more than 1,700 registrants participated in the virtual conference in 2020. Total expenses, noted at the bottom of the slide at $1,492,000, were slightly more than the prior year of $1,443,000. The net increase in expense is attributed to compensation for our then new executive director, offset by a decline in conference expense attributed to the virtual conference format. On the statement of changes in net assets declined by $125,000 to end the year slightly under $1 million. At next year's annual meeting, I will present to you audited results for the fiscal year 2021 for the new NGS. On the first day of fiscal year 2021, October 1st, 2020, legal documents were signed that merged National Genealogical Society and Federation of Genealogical Societies. At that time, FGS transferred approximately $1.3 million in cash to NGS. $400,000 of that is restricted for Preserve the Pension and other similar projects. And the remaining $900,000 is designated for the enhancement and preservation of society activities and can only be used for activities that support organizations within the new NGS. Since October 1st, there has been growth of approximately 175 society members. The new NGS website has been expanded with pages focused on society activities, and a delegate council steering committee has been created to identify society needs. I'm proud to say that the clean audit results I've shared today from the old NGS, coupled with the reserves brought from FGS, put us in a strong financial position to continue to serve people, cultures, and organizations as they find their family stories. If you have questions for me on any of these financial matters, please submit them through the chat function or feel free to email me at treasurer@ngsgenealogy.org. We'll turn the floor back to Matt, who will moderate our Q&A opportunity. Matt?
Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Menashes, NGS Executive Director, and I'm here with Debbie Hoskins, our Treasurer, and our President, Catherine Doyle, to answer a few of your questions, and we've gotten a few in so far. First, let me thank you all for being here for the annual meeting, and we hope if you're registered for the NGS Virtual Family Conference as soon as our annual meeting is over, that you return to the event platform, view our expo hall, and see the demos that are going on tonight from a couple of our sponsors. So thank you all for being here, and let me ask a few questions of two of our fantastic officers. So let me start with this relatively easy question for you, Debbie. Bernice announced during her presentation that we now have a youth and young adult membership for people 14 to, I think, 24. When is that youth membership going to be available for purchase on the website?
On the website, it'll be available shortly. We already do have 27 youth members through the end of March.
That's fantastic. So we'll have that up soon, and we should be able to run that number from 27 to 54 and maybe 108. I'm looking for multiples because, you know, I like to do math as much as you do. So we'll go there. All right. So the next question we had in was related to the NGSQ index, and I'll take that one. When is the NGSQ index going to become available for members again? I can't answer the question specifically. We have some work to do to make the NGSQ index available again. We've been putting our efforts over the last year, obviously, into managing the transition of not only our two conferences from live to virtual, but assisting the Federation in its last conference, converting from in-person to virtual, and a merger. So we've got some work to do in catching up with some of the other things we're doing, like that index. As soon as we know a date, we'll make that public and make that known through the NGS blog. The next question, Catherine, your thoughts on when we're going to reveal the location for the 2023 conference?
Well, Matt, I think if I know the answer to this, we're close to signing a contract. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right there. So we will be announcing it, but not this week.
That's right. Are we announcing anything this week?
Well, we did make a few announcements this week. We announced that we are going to be in Sacramento next year. So,
and as a proud Californian, is that a 2 thumbs up?
Yes, it is, especially because this is my my own home society that is going to be the host. So we're really excited to be coming to California next year.
Excellent. Now, I also want to ask you about Andre's presentation on diversity, equity, and inclusion. One of the questions we got in was how are we going to help our member organizations, our member societies, our libraries, archives, museums? How are we able to help them deal with the issue of diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Well, that's a great question. I hadn't thought about that actually, but I think it's a great opportunity for us as we grapple with this issue to be a model for our societies. And that's definitely something I will take back to our DEI working group so that they've got it kind of in the back of their minds that whatever we learn, we can pass it on to the other member organizations.
Fantastic.
Good question.
All right. I should mention that our top voted question actually wasn't a question at all. It was actually a comment. Really great kudos coming in from our attendees on how fantastic the NGS Virtual Family History Conference has been so far. So thank you all for those comments of support. We recognize we had some technical issues today with the live stream, and we have made a couple of those presentations. We've made Danny Shapiro's presentation, which some of you may have missed part of, available through 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday in the virtual event platform. So if you missed any of Danny Shapiro's presentation, please go into the platform. You can go in at any time and scroll back through the previous sessions today and click on the pre-recorded video for Danny to watch it again. So we apologize for those technical difficulties today and really appreciate all of your patience as we resolve them. So thank you for that. Let's see, what other questions do we have? I think this is a kind of a more complicated financial question. Debbie, you mentioned during the presentation about the monies that came in from the Federation of Genealogical Societies after the merger. You know, for me, I've been dealing with nonprofit finances for 20 plus years. It's easy for me to understand. I know as a CPA, it's easy for you to understand. For Catherine, she's the president. She helped negotiate the arrangement for the merger with FGS. But I think for our members, just repeating sort of what we're doing and what the agreements were with FGS for those monies that came over would be helpful.
Sure, Matt. As I mentioned earlier, approximately 1.3 million was transferred as part of the merger. 400,000 of it was restricted for preserve the pension and other restricted purposes. And we have that in a separate restricted account currently. Monies are removed from the account periodically based on expenditures that are incurred for preserve the pension. The $900,000, the remaining piece, is designated for a new Society Activities Fund, and it will be used to support programs, services, and benefits for society organization. And as of October 1st of 2020, we also had a separate account for it. We budgeted expenditures for it, and only for projects and programs that are related to the societies.
Right. So I think that's an important, excuse me, I'm getting a little bit of an echo in my ears. I think that's an important point for our members from the society and organization world to recognize is that the funds that came over from the Federation that were collected through society and organization activities are still being used for those society and organization activities.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So we had a couple of questions about some of the video tours for the virtual exhibit hall, and I'll just address those. So there is on our YouTube channel a playlist with some information about how to navigate throughout the virtual event platform. One of those videos is a shorter tour of the virtual expo hall. The other tour that we did today during the annual meeting was a tour of the NGS website, and we will be posting that to the NGS YouTube channel as well. So those two videos are there, one that you can watch over the next day or so to help you navigate the expo hall in the virtual event platform. And then there's another video that you just saw in the annual meeting. It's about 9 minutes long that tours you around the NGS website, and that will also be up on YouTube shortly. So we had a question from someone about when we talk about societies, who are we talking about? What kinds of organizations? Does that count the Sons of the American Revolution and other hereditary societies? Catherine, your thoughts on how we define both societies and libraries, archives, and museums, the new SLAM not triumvirate, I guess, quadrumvirate.
Right. Okay, Matt, let's not try to create any new words. But the new part is that, as we had mentioned earlier, the NGS always had individual members, and only since the merger and the change in the bylaws can organizations become members. So yes, we talk about all kinds of organizations, anything related to genealogy, any of those organizations, including the Sons, could be member organizations of NGS now.
And I think, yeah, I think we have a couple of daughters chapters that are already members, and we take an expansive look at the term society. So it's not only genealogy societies, whether they're at the local level or the regional level, state level, specialty societies like MITA Y-DNA, or the virtual genealogical society or genealogical association, specialty organizations like that. Also family associations, we have a number of those, like the Endicott family group, so were winners today of one of our books. So societies is a pretty expansive term. As long as they join the organization, and the dues rate is dependent upon the size of those organizations, they're welcome to be part of NGS, as well as libraries, archives, museums, and then we have a couple of college and university degree granting programs that are also members of NGS. Debbie, one of the other questions I saw come in, and where did it go? I'm scrolling through this, was really about, these resources that we're making available, not only on our website, but through virtual conferences like this. Obviously, the NGS conference is a big deal, whether we're live as in normal times or virtual like we've been these past 2 years. We've had a lot of comments come in hoping that we're able to do both live and virtual, what in my world we call a hybrid event in the future. Your thoughts on that? There's a challenge of resources, obviously, but as the treasurer and the person who knows our books the best, can you give us a sense of what it would take to make that happen?
Sure, Matt. I think it's going to be everybody's desire to have a hybrid model. And so we will have to take a look at the cost of providing that type of service and, create the revenues to support that. We'll be spending a good part of our board meetings, talking about doing that sort of thing. So yes, I believe it's possible, but we have a lot of work to do to figure that out.
Fantastic. Well, we certainly are going to be spending the better part of the rest of this year planning. That's what we do at NGS. We spend most of the spring and summer heading into the start of our fiscal year, which is in October, going through planning exercises and identifying things like new expenditures, new programs. I think if I, as an executive director, as someone who's managing the organization, I would absolutely love to be able to provide a hybrid event that serves both our members on the ground in 2022 in Sacramento, but also provide for our members who can't travel or, for health reasons or because of the time away from their offices or their families, to be able to do that. The only thing I can say, and I'm saying this because I know some of my staff are listening, is we won't do it and break them. We'll have to have the resources necessary to support the staffing for both events. They did a fantastic job this year, and I just want to once again thank them and thank you, Catherine, for the recognition that you provided for the entire staff with the President's Citation this year. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. I'll just add one more thing to that, Matt, is that we have been providing live streaming for some of our big sessions,
Absolutely.
Even when we were strictly in person before this idea of hybrid even was invented. So rest assured that we will do our best to try to service all of our members and just do our best like we always do.
That's right. I should say, today's this entire week is brought to us in part by our production staff at Playback Now, who for many years have been our streaming partners from the live conference. And if I can say anything about Playback Now is they can make it happen. So thank you to Tom Galucki, who's producing tonight's annual meeting, and the entire family of folks at Playback Now for everything they've done to make this virtual conference happen. All right, so I'm looking through my feed and don't see any additional questions coming in, but here we go. Do you have resources or programs for those aspiring to become professional genealogists? Maybe some sort of mentoring program? Catherine, do you have any thoughts on becoming a professional genealogist?
We do have a page on our website, Matt, that specifically addresses becoming a professional genealogist. I don't know that I would be able to rattle off the URL, but it's definitely there. And I think if you use the search box and say, type in maybe the word professional genealogist, that should come up. The mentoring program is an interesting idea. We'll have to put that on our list of things to talk about.
Absolutely. And, you know, we always encourage folks who are pursuing professional careers in genealogy to pursue certification with either of the two certifying bodies. And there's obviously our partners at the Association of Professional Genealogists that we would want to encourage folks to check out on your path to becoming a professional. So I think APG's website is apg.org, but I am not positive. So don't quote me on that, but you can certainly Google them. Let's see. Is a recording of the delegate council meeting from Monday available? So for those of you who aren't aware, as part of the creation of the new NGS, we set up a new advisory committee for our member organizations, and their official representatives to NGS are called delegates. And we have a new delegate council, which kicked off Monday with an opening workshop. All of the content from that opening workshop has been recorded and will be made available within the next week or so. If not next week, it would be the week after. So the entire delegate council workshop will be available for not only delegates to watch, but for delegates to share with the leadership in their genealogy societies, their family associations, their library leadership, their archive museum leadership, their department heads. So yes, that will be available. And then the SLAM session, was that recorded? Actually, all of SLAM was pre-recorded, except for the Q&A with Judy Russell, our MC, and our 3 winners and 3 honorable mentions. But all of that content, including the Q&A, is recorded and will be available on the NGS YouTube channel. We will send out more information, plus it'll be in the blog and on the NGS website to look for, so you can watch all of the SLAM content at your leisure via YouTube. All of the SLAM sessions are already there, and we'll be able to drop the URL into the chat here in just a moment. Any other questions coming in from my staff? I don't think so.
Looks like a couple of people have put in APG's website URL.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad they've done that.
Thank you for that.
Yes, and I am going to drop in the URL for the YouTube channel with the SLAM sessions. If you'll give me a moment to do that, and then we'll turn it back over to Catherine. I think we'll stop the questions here. Turn it back over to Catherine for a few closing remarks. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Catherine, for an excellent Q&A. Appreciate all your time and everything you do to make NGS fantastic. Good night.
I hope through this information we have shared this evening that you can rest assured that the new NGS is focused on inspiring, connecting, and leading the family history community. We will continue to serve individuals by providing excellent education and resources for all levels of aspiring genealogists. We will continue to promote access to and preservation of genealogical records. We will continue to develop new programs to support genealogy societies and institutions throughout the United States and in other countries. We will continue to grow opportunities for you, our members, to collaborate, share ideas, and be heard. Our ultimate goal is to assist people of all cultures in connecting their families to the past and creating a lasting legacy. We all know that genealogy is far more than a hobby. It's an abiding passion that drives individuals, societies, and organizations to discover and preserve the history of our ancestors. The new GS now has an expanded network of committed, dedicated, and knowledgeable professional genealogists, organizational leaders, and both experienced and budding family historians. We are so thrilled to have you all as part of the new NGS. Before we close tonight, I want to remind everyone to save the date for our next conference, Sacramento, California, the 25th to the 28th May 2022, where I am so proud to say we will be hosted by my own home society, the California Genealogical Society here in Oakland. Be sure to sign up for the NGS conference blog to receive up-to-date conference news and look for the 2022 conference announcement brochure about Sacramento, which will be coming out shortly. It's an honor to serve as your president and to voice our appreciation to all of you for being with us tonight to celebrate the first year of the new NGS. I'll sign off with the vision statement, recently adopted by the NGS board. May you have a terrific year where all people discover their family stories and share them forward. Thank you all for attending the annual meeting. Good night.